Hello, Jordan. How are ya?
Hey Kieran, mate, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Let's talk some Supercoach.
Yes, let's do
So,
that.
I've now gone from top six to top eight. Still alright,
Still
considering
good.
everyone had a bad score. Every good
Yeah,
team had a bad score. I will say this.
that's yeah,
This is my first score under 2,000,
yeah.
and it was partly
Likewise.
because of Gorn.
Oh, don't even get me started on the bloke, honestly.
So basically, yeah, I had the chance of getting Grundy. I didn't take it. I had Gorn,
Yeah,
and that was only because the person I was playing against was also going Gorn, and I just wanted to match his. 'Cause he also had Grundy and Gorn. I just wanted to match him
yeah,
because I was projected a bit more than him, and I think I had an extra premium on the field, and just wanted to match him like for like, and ended
yeah,
up just beating him.
yeah.
It actually came down to Chapman. All he had to score was 40 points, and here's the reason why I won that. I had him on my bench, didn't want to put him in, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, good
But
call there.
as in, well, you wouldn't put him in. You wouldn't take anyone else off.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
the
right.
one thing I need to say, I was so gassed up for my team going into this round. I only had two players score over 110:
Yeah,
Daniels and Grundy. Daniels of all people,
crazy.
and Grundy.
That's crazy because we've spoken about Caleb Daniel on this
Yeah,
podcast, and yeah, for him to score 117
I think that's
for the
easily
season
his
that he's
biggest
had as
score.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is his biggest score of the season. But yeah, very, very interesting round, Kieran.
Actually, what's his? He's now break even's 50, 51. If you haven't got him in and you want a chance to, if this is your chance to sort of bring him in, um,
412 is a steal and a half.
412 is a still and a half. Speaking of defenders, that's a still and a half. If you can bring in both of these players, if not one, Stephen May, 408 is even probably even better.
Yeah, absolute
Higher
steal as well.
average, and he's got a 7 in his score.
Yeah,
And that 7 was because he got injured, I believe. Wasn't because
yes,
he got tagged like what Daniels did when he scored 19. That is a legitimate 7, a
yeah,
legitimate 7 because he got tagged. He's got a
yeah.
5 break even. He is a 500k player for 400k basically. That's all I'm gonna
He's lost
say.
100k basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would probably get him over Daniels.
Mm,
But if Daniels is going back to his scoring like this, like he was doing last year, that's a different
yeah.
story.
Well, it depends because he was playing, I reckon, more that kick out role on
Mm.
Friday night against Richmond. So if we see more of that again,
Oh, 100
um
percent.
he he could be a more viable option than May, obviously. But it's a toss up. Literally, it
Mm.
is a toss up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not to mention likes that McRae, Steele, Fife, Mitchell, Cripps, all of them scoring
All
less than
underperforming.
107.
They all underperformed.
Yeah, and I think last podcast I said I was going to VC McRae. The last minute I said VC Grundy
Mm.
just because I had a feeling he was going to go good. Oh, he went good, and I just didn't take it. I don't know
Didn't take
what.
it.
I don't know what.
You know
You
what?
always take anything. Definitely over 130, and he scored 144. I broke my own rule there.
Yeah, yeah,
It was a little bit because I wasn't paying too much attention, but that's alright.
yeah. That's all right.
Um,
That's okay. You live and learn, mate. You live and
exactly.
learn.
Exactly. The one thing I thought just before we get into trades and stuff like that, just a
Yep.
few players to look to.
Yep.
And the one thing is I want to look at my forwards getting a bit better
Yep.
because I got in Impey and Atkins last week, and that was great. Atkins did
Yep.
great. I did better than expected. Impey did
Yeah.
less than I expected, but honestly, I'm not too worried about Impey. He's got
Yeah.
job security. He's going to be there regardless anyway.
Yeah.
He's probably
And
going to still hover around the
74.
400k. Yeah,
You
exactly.
take a 74. And a thing that I'm just going to add with Atkins as well, he had an absolutely shit first quarter.
Mm.
Absolute shit first quarter. He was on like 11 super coach. I'm like, this guy's going to score crap.
Actually,
Um,
speaking about the
he
complete
really turned it
opposite,
up. Really turned it
person who
up.
had one of the best first quarters in a while and ended up scoring like the worst score. My boy Bruce. He scored 30 in the first quarter and he finished at 35.
Just
That
scored
is
5 points in 3 quarters.
one of the worst scores I've seen. Not only that I've seen him do,
Yeah.
considering like what was it round 3 he scored 172 against North Melbourne, which is basically a
Yeah.
given.
Yeah.
And he ended up scoring 35. Not that you would ever bring him in. Not that I'm even condoning anyone to bring him in.
Mate. I hate key forwards.
He lost 38k
Yeah, for that.
and
Yeah.
104. Oh, if you get rid of him, if you got him.
Yeah.
If you mate, I'll take Rowe over him any day.
Yeah.
But
Oh, goodness
but
me.
no, the few people I want to talk about is some just some decent picks for forwards
line.
if you want to increase your forwards, because I know they're a bit hard to get this year,
They are
especially with
definitely
Dunkley
indeed.
being injured, Walker going back to how he was last year.
Yeah.
I don't trust Kobe Green, just as a person.
Yeah, that's right. I hate him.
Yeah, just as a person. And Impey is a bit... If you're still unsure about Impey, I'd still probably take Zorko over Impey, even though I didn't last week. But I wanted the money. I value the money a lot more.
Yeah. That's right.
First one I have, if you don't have him already, I'm lucky enough that I don't have him, is Dustin Martin. I don't have him. I can't wait to bring him in for hopefully under 450 next week. Or whatever he's going to be priced as.
Back in Melbourne as well for those owners who do have him. So
I think we had a look. He's back in Melbourne for a while, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he came. I think my mate said he came back yesterday, possibly.
Yesterday. Yep.
So I think he only came back yesterday, which means probably might have trained today, probably will train tomorrow, just depending when Richmond train.
You're right. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Hopefully he plays Friday.
Yep.
All signs are.
I'm pretty sure it was
in Melbourne. He should play Friday. So.
I'm pretty sure. Was it just because he got sent off because it was a concussion?
Yeah. So obviously he had his concussion issue, which means he couldn't play against you guys anyway. Yeah. So then he wanted to go see his dad anyway.
Just talking on that, I do not get the big deal about him going to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like everyone was saying, like it was such a bad thing. I'm like, let him see his dad. Who cares?
I personally think he needed it for his mental health.
And I really 100%.
I honestly think that he's going to have a killer mid to back end of the season.
Yeah, and I think we had a look at it. I think that's what he usually does. He usually does a decent...
Yeah. He loves it.
Yeah, a few games there. But what was he? I just didn't check. 480, 150. He can be lower than 450, and that is a steal and a half for Martin. For someone who's got such a high can score one of the highest scores in the league at the moment.
It just proves his high score is 158 this season. He could easily score 158 against Geelong.
Oh easily. Yeah. If have they been doing good at tagging since like the first couple of rounds?
See, I think O'Connor's injured, so they're not tagging.
Okay.
At the moment, I think
honestly, that score is possible for Martin.
Yeah.
That score is possible for Martin. I don't put it past him. He'll easily go over 100. Hope he won't score 83. If he'll score 100 and probably lose about say 20k or 110. I reckon he'll make triple digits, 100%.
Honestly, I'm hoping for 100, 110. That would make me a bit happy. But yeah,
we'll know for sure that he's back, and the concussion isn't affecting him long term, sort of thing. Going into it, and then that being said, I've got another couple players I want to look at. Is Butters as well?
Yep.
He unfortunately had to score 96. And then get injured. He couldn't wait. He can do it at like 39 or something like Martin did, so he can get it for cheaper.
Yeah.
But I think he's also another lock. Maybe the game after he comes back as well, which I think is round 10 or 11. Yeah.
Yeah, still a while away. So
still a while away, but I still want to I still want to get like my forwards prepared. Yeah. And he probably is going to be my last forward I upgrade. Last person I upgrade from a forward.
Yep.
Then hopefully that's Warner or someone like that. And if I can swap Warner for Butters, obviously with the cash and all that, I'll be laughing. One interesting one as well is Marshall.
Yeah.
He scored the 130 last couple weeks ago, and then he scored the 86. That was the 86 with Ryder as well, and apparently he'll still had that bit of a hand injury, and he still scored 86.
I think it's his foot.
Foot, sorry. No, you're right. You're right. It was one or the other. Hand or foot, same thing.
That's all right. All good. All good.
And apparently they're saying they're going to rest Ryder soon as well.
Yeah. Can I give you some inside word? I'm going to give you some inside word on Marshall, because I spoke to my mate today.
Yeah?
And apparently one of my mates as well is good mates with Rowan Marshall.
Okay.
And Rowan's sore, apparently.
Is he?
Inside word is that he's sore. This is coming from him as well.
Okay.
So he's playing. St Kilda want him to play.
Yep.
But
he wants to rest.
Sore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
if that is true and everything like that is how it if that is true and everything like that, and if he's scoring 80s when he's sore, and if he comes back when he's fit, so say like in a couple weeks from now, so like 9 or 10 or something like that. And he's still scoring those 80s or something like that. Hopefully
Yeah.
that he can lose a bit more money. If he gets under 500k, he's probably still worth it for the long run. Because again, you
Yeah.
want him for the end of the season,
Yeah.
and him fit is a great player, 100%.
100%.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you said that.
He
I'm glad
was,
you brought that
and
up.
and he was great last year as well. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I definitely hold off another week or two. It's going to be really hard to not look at him if he scores
yeah.
another 100 plus.
Oh, if he scores another 100
Um,
plus, that because that's his
yeah,
break even as well, 97. So if
yeah.
he scores
But
100 plus,
if he's playing
ooh,
sore and scoring through that, it's going to be really hard to look past him.
100%.
So
Who was
yeah, bit of inside
the
word for the listeners
yeah
there.
last one that you brought up to me
Yeah,
is I won't bother looking at him because he's got a shit average.
yeah, yeah,
Walters, and
yeah.
I've had him for a few years before because he was averaging 98.
He was great. I just don't know what's happening this season with him, and he's
Exactly.
underpriced, obviously now too.
I think it was this is the because he averaged 100 with a 56 in there and had some other low scores, but he had the 150 as well.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah,
season
for sure.
I started. I think I started with him or something like that.
Mm,
But yeah, this season he hasn't quite performed or anything like that. I'm not too sure why.
mm,
I know he didn't start off playing or anything like that. Start at third round. I was
yeah.
hoping that I saw 76. That's not bad. Good to get back into it. But then he just sort of
Then he started.
died down. The
I don't
80s
know.
80s good to see.
There's some injuries at Frio now. I think Chera's injured, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, okay.
Which may mean he may get more centre bounce attendances. Who knows? But that 83 is a good sign. So that's why I thought I'd just bring him up.
I'll tell you what. If he scores at this price as well, if he scores, say, if he makes his break even of 100, it's probably a good time to sort of look at him. Actually,
Yeah.
whenever in the next couple of weeks, if he makes his break even, if he's got a very
Yeah.
low break even, it's a good time to look at him.
Yeah.
Look, in terms of money wise, I hope he scores another 80, which shows he's getting better. But it's still he's going to get less than 400. And if you can bring him up for 300 something like 390, 380, oh, you're laughing. You're laughing.
100%.
I just remember.
100%.
That being said, I just remembered the last person I was going to speak about. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
write it
right.
down. Heaney. Oh, just imagine swapping what is it? Warner for Heaney
Imagine
and
having
getting
a bench cover
and
as
getting
Heaney,
money
bro.
back. Exactly. Like have him as your forward six, and then
Yeah,
chuck him on the
basically.
bench for say like Butters when he comes back and stuff like that. Oh, you'd be laughing. You'd be laughing.
Yeah.
Look how much
Could
money
do
he's
that.
lost. He's lost 100k already.
Yeah.
And that's and he's one of those forwards that can score high as well. I'm not saying he's going to do it every round, but like if the first 3 games are how he's going to be fit,
Yeah.
and the
Oh,
other 2 are
great.
just like off games, he is
Yeah.
going to be good. And I was actually wanted to see if he's going to make his break even last week. He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. But that's actually just means it's going to be so much more cheaper. And if you can, he won't make 61. But if he can,
Yeah.
if he can get under say 3, he'll get under 350. If he can get like say 330 or less,
Yeah.
oh, that's rookie scores for a decent player. Rookie price for a
Okay.
decent player.
Rookie price. Yeah. Yeah. For
Um,
sure.
was there any other forwards you wanted to mention other than?
Probably some notable mentions that have kind of caught my eye this season. Bailey Dale.
Oh, Dale, yeah.
Yeah, like he's playing. I'm pretty sure he's playing in the back line.
He's
He's
taking the
best,
kick-ins when
best,
Daniel isn't. And I
best
think,
kick in the AFL at the moment.
best kick in the
too.
AFL at the moment. If you started off with him, you'd be laughing. If you're one of the
Yeah.
Doggies fans that started off with him, oh my god.
Yeah,
Especially last 3 weeks, 129, 61, 112.
Yeah.
Ignore that 61, because I think,
Yeah.
I can't remember who
was-
played, but I
Been
don't
pretty
think,
consistent.
yeah, I can't remember who played on that game, but yeah. He's done decently, especially for an average of 100, with
Yeah.
that 61 being in the average.
Mm,
The only thing that's going to
sure.
affect his score is Daniels is going back to his regular self. And if they're going to share 50-50 kick-ins and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I hope they can both score 110 each, but it might not be the case. It might be Daniel
Actually,
scoring 80 for a week, and then that's the score that's the day that Bailey Dale scores 110 plus. And then it might go, he scores 80 this week, and then Daniel scores 110 and stuff like that.
That's right.
That's
that
what I'm not
61,
100%
Kieran,
sure.
That 61 that Dale scored was against the Giants. I just remembered.
Gotcha, yeah.
Maybe, and one more that I was thinking of as well. And this is a really controversial one because I
like
find
it.
him a very, very interesting player to watch. Shy Bolton.
Bolton.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, with But with Dusty coming back, Prestia coming back, is he going to keep getting that midfield time? That's the thing.
That's yeah. I thought that because I knew he was gonna. Two people I knew was gonna have a good scores against Bulldogs was him because he is going to be a midfielder and he is going to be taking sort of like Dusty's not Dusty's role but his
Yeah.
sort of time on ground sort of thing.
I know what you mean.
And Short. I knew for a fact Short was going to have an absolute field day against us, and he did end up doing very good.
Did do very well.
What did he score? 116.
116.
And you take that any day of the week.
Oh yeah.
I was one of the people that never started off with him, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I had Rich over him.
Yeah. Well, he's lost. Look, Kieran. He's
Oh, sorry. I
31K.
had Laird over him because that was the two I was sort of looking at. I was also looking at Stewart, but that's another that's another story. But yeah, Bolton not bad, especially at this price. Maybe give it another week as well.
Yep.
Because
what is he? 480. He's very similar price.
He scored 75 against. Yeah, he scores 75 again like he did last year against Geelong. At least you'll know that when Daniel's back, you know what his scoring abilities is going to be anyway.
That's right.
And GWS for 110. If he can score that fair, then he's going to make you money.
Yeah.
Especially the week after.
For sure.
But I think we should go about trades now.
Indeed.
Why don't you talk me through the 2 trades that you done, and then we'll...
Yeah, let's do it.
Go
All
for
right,
my options.
so my first trade was going to be in defense. Very, very simple one for me.
Yep.
So it's going to be Chapman to Frederick.
Yep.
Just because Chapman...
Great trade.
I think Chapman's probably almost maxed out. Break even of 85, I believe. So, it's probably time to move him on.
The other thing I was actually very surprised about is Chapman scoring this with Young already out injured, and Ryan was out as well.
Look, he did cop a shoulder knock. In
The
first quarter.
Yeah, and that's when I saw that, I was just, thank God, he was the reason why I won my my thing, because I needed him to score 40 and he scored 28, and that and not that I'm happy that he got a shoulder knock or anything like that, but that won me my game.
Yeah, so
but I was surprised about that, because obviously if he didn't have the shoulder knock, he'd easily score. He'd probably score another 80 or something like that.
Yes,
didn't have that bad
probably.
Hopefully anyway.
There was no Luke Ryan in the team too, so I thought he would absolutely tear it up. But
that's what I thought.
Opposite. That's
what I thought. Yeah. And I'm not too sure when, because as soon as Young gets back, I think he might. I don't know if he'll get dropped or anything like that, but he may lose some of his. He's got time. 14 to 16. Yeah.
Young's not back for a little while.
Yeah, and if you remember, I had Young straight from the start.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I think I swapped him for Chapman.
Yeah, probably that would have been the case.
Yeah. But go on.
Yeah, so that was my first one. My second one, I traded out Errol Goulden, whose break even is around the same. I think it's around 86.
86, yep.
Moved Scott into my midfield because I am kind of at that stage where I'm comfortable playing Scott on the field.
Yep.
And I brought in, at the moment, I'm just going to call him, we've nicknamed him Thorpey.
Oh, Thorpey.
So Phil Thorpe, I think that's how you pronounce it. So I've brought him in at the moment. He's in on my bench, but I'm very tempted to bring in for 12k more Atu Bosvalagi, if that's how you pronounce his name.
Yep.
And he's already had a price rise, and I'm not too fussed about that. But I just feel like Atu's going to score a bit better than Phil Thorpe.
Well, I also think that Atu's a bit more safer, as in job security.
Yes.
And especially if he's gonna look, 72 is great. If he keeps going around, if that's his lowest score and that's his highest score, he's gonna stay in the North Melbourne team basically.
Yeah.
He may not be great sort of thing, but if he can score you that, he's a good even if you keep him for the whole season and just have him as bench cover at the end of the year, he'll be easy for that, especially for the bye rounds as well, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right.
Sure.
So basically the 13th and 14th round, Melbourne are still... Melbourne are in the round 12, but he'll still be a good bench cover anyway.
That's right. And Atu's been playing in the back line as well, and I much prefer that than key forwards, because Phil Thorpe's a key forward. And another guy that's actually had his first price rise, and I brought him in last week as well, is Jai Farah. From Gold Coast. He is a decent option as well, playing off in the back line. So he's another one that you can consider too.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's basically my trades that I'm thinking at the moment.
Gotcha.
What
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
yourself, mate? Talk us through yours.
Myself. Chapman for Frederick, 100%. I think
Yep.
it's one of the.
That's going to
Actually,
be most popular for the week,
I
I
think we
think.
should have a look. What is the most popular? Because we're doing this sort of a day later than what we usually
Yeah.
do
Yeah. If you
do
go
the
to
videos.
players, I think you're in,
Players, yeah, you're right.
possibly. Yeah.
Most straight Frederick. Oh,
Ooh,
Gordon to
okay.
Frederick. Chapman and
Interesting.
Rowe. Rowe
Captain
is
via
another one. Is
DPP.
the I
Yeah.
think these three are other ones to go. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that Chapman can't come back and score well, but he needs to make I think 80 break even, and he's only done that twice.
That's right.
Rowe and Gordon have still got very high break evens, but I think I'm going to keep Gordon. I'm also going to keep Campbell. I'm also going to keep Warner because they're going
Probably,
to be playing.
probably most reliable out of the three, Errol Goulden.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I'd say
yeah.
so. If not, you can argue Warner or something like that. But Gordon's still like,
100%.
especially his was his the first two games was the 130s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went 130s in both.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
crazy. I thought he was going to go off the whole season. I thought it was
I
going to be like
wish.
who was it? I think it was Walsh that had just an insane,
Yeah.
insane
Yeah.
first year. Like you didn't want to get rid of him basically.
Yeah. Pretty much.
He was so good.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So first one is Chapman to Frederick,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is a great trade for
Yeah.
anyone to sort of do. It makes it easier because I've got him on the bench, so Frederick can turn around and score 30 next week, get injured or something like that, but it won't affect my overall score.
Don't tell me that, Kieran. I'm playing him on field.
I know, I know, and a lot of people are. It was just the fact that I brought in Cumming for cheap. I brought in CJ for cheap, and that was and those players were both 200k when I brought them in, and they just happened to turn out really well. So I don't want to get rid of them, sort of thing. Even CJ scoring 49, I don't care about. Considering that my whole team didn't underperformed basically, except Grundy and except Daniels. Zeeble as well was a gun, and Powell for 97 and Jordan 91. Those are crazy. But I'll give you napkins, but that's all right. The second trade I'm gonna do is two of them I'm thinking of, and so I've got three options. First option is to just leave it like that, 200k, and then with the forwards we talked about earlier, is to upgrade upgrade Rowe and maybe Scott next week. Obviously, depending on what their break even is, more likely Rowe. I want to keep Warner till the very end, and I want to keep Gordon till the very end. Only because I want to keep ignore Gordon. I want to keep Warner till the very end. I want to keep Powell and Jordan till the very end. Like as in, I'm talking. I may even swap out Cripps and upgrade to him before I get rid of Powell or someone like that.
That's the thing. If Cripps keeps
especially the way he's
scoring
going,
60s, he's going to be a rage trade. And I don't normally do that, but if he keeps going the way he's going,
and the other thing that
very
annoyed me,
frustrating
like
to own.
I didn't watch the game. I didn't even see a score. I saw the highlight of him kicking a goal. I'm like, oh, Cripps, what a gun! And then I saw his score at 65. I'm like, Cripps, what are you doing? Like, what happened this whole game that you've only scored 60? That you've only scored 65.
Possibly the thing that killed him is his efficiency.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I
we can just have a quick look at.
Yeah,
Because Cripps. I know a lot of people have Cripps and
yeah.
and look, they actually no, they won this game.
Yeah, 62% efficiency.
He gave away 3 fouls.
There you go.
7 clangers, 62 efficiency. Come on, Cripps. Come on, Cripps. He could have had a great. If say he had 0 clangers and he didn't give out any threes, that 60 is now an 80 at least, or something like that.
Exactly. He needs 24 touches too.
Like, if Paddy Dow did get injured, he'd probably score more than him as well. But so the first thing is just leave it like this, which I'm leaning towards, just so I can fix up my forwards when Martin comes back and stuff like that, because cash is much more valuable this
cash is king.
Cash is king, my friend. Just because there's not much trades to sort of do. And next week I might bring in this guy if he scores another 70.
Could be Dawkins, could even be Poulter, like I even mentioned to you as well.
And Poulter as well, yeah. Sorry, he's another one.
He was I was at the game, like I told you, Kieran. I was at the game on Saturday, and he showed a lot.
Yeah, and the other thing is, with North, they're probably going to play him throughout the season as well, especially if he keeps having decent games. So first one, I'm going to leave it. Second one, I was going to get rid of Gordon.
Yep.
And do one of two things: is to bring in. Who was it? It was to bring in Brayshaw. Bring in Brayshaw. And I think he's got a low break even as well. 70, decent. And if he gets his projection of 95, I'll be more than happy. That was my first one. The one thing that sort of let me not do that is I don't like having that so little cash there. Especially when there's like people playing like a couple of games like Highmore and never playing another game, so you can never sort of bring him in.
Yeah.
The other thing I sort of thought of is probably might be a better option is bringing Laird down and bringing in May. That gives me a lot more cash, and May's he's a great sort of great player, great sort of pick that, and that also brings Cripps down to my D6, I think we said it was, and then it's only
D6.
Powell and Jordan, which is the two players that I said I wanted to keep in my forwards.
Yep.
And I actually don't mind having Laird as that option.
Yep.
I think we talked about this before, but I think eventually I want to have Cumming to Whitfield.
Yeah.
And depending on how CJ's going, if I can, the only way I would trade him is to trade into Lloyd or no one else, basically.
Yeah, he could potentially be a keeper. CJ.
And that's the other thing. If it's a keeper, I just won't even bother.
Yeah.
Won't even bother. But the way Lloyd looking is, he might who's he got next week? Oh, Melbourne. He may even score 120. Honestly,
Yeah, could.
The ball's going to be down there enough.
Yeah.
And 140 last year. Yeah. But that's a tempting price. That's all I'm going to say about that.
It is a tempting price.
Those are the two trades I was thinking of today. I'm going to leave it for now.
Yep. Just sleep on it, mate. That's what I'm going to say.
And just sleep on it, yeah. Because
So,
as I said,
probably...
Gordon I don't mind keeping.
Yeah.
And I think having the cash is probably the best option for me for the time being. Especially when I do have a full team and no outs. For instance, say Rowe or someone's say I have like three people out, like say Waterman's not playing, Jones is playing, or Scott's not playing. I'll probably find a forward option basically. It may even be Martin or Walters or someone like that, and just hope that they do well. Actually, it might not be Walters. What's his break even? It won't be Walters. I'll take Martin's 157 break even over Walter. But look, yeah, that's all right. It may even be Marshall, considering no one's got him as well.
Very true.
Or or I may even just cop a donut, to be honest. I'd probably rather do that than that.
Imagine copping the donut.
Exactly. But look, I'll keep it as that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if there's anyone else people got rid of Flynn. Flynn I'll eventually get rid of, but if I get rid of Flynn, it will most likely be after the buy rounds. And if I'm getting rid of him, I'm getting rid of him as someone who's not going to generate any more cash. It'll just be for 102k player. I don't even know who are options at the moment, but just get rid of him, have full profit basically from him, and basically end up like that pretty much.
Yeah, fair call, mate. Fair call.
All right, just before we go, we'll do the captaincies.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I think we have the same idea for both of them, but I'll let you go ahead.
Possibly. All right, I'll go ahead first. So at the moment, I have my VC on Gorn because he is playing first. So he's playing on the Saturday night.
Yep.
Possibly against Tom Hickey, I think, who is in form at the moment. And I am worried about it, but Gorn scoring that 63, I'm hoping he has a very, very good game.
The one thing I will say as well is Melbourne's got a better midfield than what Sydney does.
Yes, definitely.
And if he can just have those tap outs to advantage, there's no reason why he's not scoring 130 or something like
That's
that.
Right.
Which is what he's averaging as well, even with a 63.
Yep, 100%. So, VC on Gorn, hopefully he scores 130, 140, which I'll probably take as captain. So then, I'll just do my loophole and do it that way. If it doesn't eventuate, say Gorn scores 100 or 110, I will probably risk my C on McRae.
Yeah, and I think we're talking. I think that's probably the best option. We were fiddling around with the idea of me having the VC on Zeeble.
Even me, honestly.
Yeah,
so tempted.
And look, I'll back McRae as captain, but if it wasn't for Gorn playing so close to Zeeble's game or North's game,
I
don't think the game's going to be finished by the time Oh, you have what was it, like a 20-minute window or something like that?
Yeah, you'll have a 20-minute window, I think.
And
Very risky. It is
very
risky.
very risky, very risky. But honestly,
Yeah, yeah. You can risk it if you
he'll
want.
probably dominate he'll probably dominate against Collingwood. But
Yeah. I'm hoping the ball's going to be back there a lot. I'm probably planning on going to the game this week, so I'm hoping we
oh yeah,
annihilate him. I don't know if we're going to annihilate him, but I'm hoping the
oh
ball's back there.
just a cheeky 130 points.
Yeah,
They
that'd
played
be
good
ideal.
against Melbourne. I will say that.
They did. They did.
I
play
was not
pretty well
expecting
against Melbourne.
that. And considering our team lost to Richmond, but we smashed them by 130. I know they had a different team back then and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
not Melbourne also just brought in Ben Brown as well, so that's increased their forwards.
Melbourne, yeah, very true. Very true.
Melbourne,
Yeah.
I think, has got one of the best teams at the moment. If you look at their forwards, their defense, and their mid, Bulldogs has got a mid and a half. Bulldogs got one of the best mids in the comp, but but Melbourne has got Demons have got a better forwards and arguably a better defense to compensate for not having as good as midfield as what Bulldogs has.
They're a very well balanced team, Melbourne.
Oh,
Very
100%,
well balanced.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially just bringing in Ben Brown as well, who was great for North, and now he's just in a better team, pretty much.
Pretty
So
much,
arguably he's going to make him a better scorer and everything like that. But look, yeah, that's neither here or there. But
Yeah. That's
yeah, look, I think we'll leave it as that.
sounds good, mate.
We'll leave it as that. That's my team for now. I honestly don't think I'm going to bring in May or Brayshaw.
Yeah.
The one just cheekily, one thing I was looking at is Oliver. If I can find a way to bring Oliver into this team as well, oh my god,
Yeah.
that's gonna be a great team. And because he scored, actually scored 116, and he's still got a high, not a fairly high break even.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he can't hit it or anything like that, but he'll get close to it anyway. 123, and the thing that I liked as well is that he still scored. I think he scored the 130. I think he scored 130 against Connor as well from Geelong.
Yes.
Connor, yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
And I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, he did. He scored 130.
130, yeah.
Basically. Yeah, that's right.
And if he can brush that off a tag, I'm not too sure what happened with his 60 score. I think that was
Tagged the ball tag,
the ball tag. There you go.
and then he got injured that game too. The ball. So
Okay,
he was looking like he was going to score under 50 that game, and then he just tore it up the second half.
yeah. To be fair, the ball can tag anyone and they'll score. Bad.
That's right. Yeah, indeed.
But look, if he gets to say anywhere near like 580, if he gets 580, say he scores like say 100 and it's down whatever price. If he gets to like close enough to the 580, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you may have to bring him in 100%. There's no way he's going to be down this cheap for that long.
Very true.
And I know that I've spent $650 on Steel, and I got and I think Steel's like, and I can't remember who I brought in afterwards, but no, Steel I bought for $650. I still think it's worth it. He's going to end up. He just had three bad scores. I'm not worried about him.
Wouldn't be too worried about him.
But Oliver for 580 is honestly a steal and a half, even 585 or whatever. But that's right. I'm rambling about who I want to bring into my team. But and honestly as well, if that means I have to get rid of Cripps, I might have to get rid of Cripps.
It could be a luxury trade.
Exactly.
Have one. Yeah.
Exactly. Or if Oliver gets injured and then I can bring him in down the line or whatever, I can fix my team, then trade Cripps out, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But look, that's all right. We'll leave it as that. That's my team for now. I'm only going to do 19 trades. I think it's probably best.
That's what I'm sitting on at the moment too. So yeah.
But I think next week I might upgrade a forward, potentially Rowe, because I don't see Rowe scoring his 77. If he does, I'll have to keep him, honestly.
Yeah.
And maybe find another way. Maybe have to get rid of, maybe even have to get rid of Campbell if he doesn't play again.
Yeah.
But look, yeah, we'll see what happens anyway.
We'll
go from there. I think that's all we can sort of do. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
But yeah, look, we'll see you next week.
See you next
Make
week.
sure you guys
Cheers,
like and subscribe. Make sure you comment everything, and we'll answer your questions and stuff like that. Because I know everyone's got different questions as well, different teams and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
We'll give you an idea of what to do anyway. But yeah, we'll go from there.
All right. Cheers.
See you then.
Bye.
Enjoy. Bye.